Tristan here for alphatutorials.co.za, and we have a surprise for you guys. Here's the exciting new Alpha A77 that's been doing the rounds and everybody's going crazy about. It is now official. We've had our opportunity to play with it a little bit. We're still going to be testing it a bit further, and a lot of what we spoke about in the last episode of the podcast was spot on with the rumors. It's a 24.3 megapixel sensor. We haven't tested it a lot in low light conditions, but the bit that we have played with, it seems to be impressive. It's got the new 16 to 50 millimeter 2.8 lens with it, which is pretty much essential for a resolution that high and a sensor of that kind of capacity. You need to have the best glass you can possibly put on it. It's not a Zeiss lens as it's branded with this at the moment. Bearing in mind that these are samples that we've got here, but it is built like a Zeiss lens. It's incredibly well made. And really an exciting lens for us. We're quite happy to see this kind of glass coming out. It's been a gap in the Alpha lens range for quite some time. The camera is an impressive machine. It has a OLED viewfinder, as we spoke about in the last show. It's almost a 3 million pixel viewfinder. It is incredibly crisp, far better than what you've experienced with the Alpha A33, the A77. The A77 is a better viewfinder, should we say. The screen is one of the coolest things on this camera. It moves up in just about any direction you want it to. And it's incredibly exciting. We love screens that move around, as you may remember from our Alpha 33 discussion. Some very innovative features that are on here. It does 12 frames a second. It is limited to 17 frames by the buffer when you're shooting a JPEG file. And 13 frames a second if you're shooting a RAW. So just bear that in mind. You need to make sure you've got the action spot on when you're shooting with it. What is incredible though with this camera is it has focus tracking. Now everybody's going to say yes, all cameras have focus tracking. This takes it a step further. This takes, when you focus on a subject, you can hit the button at the back to memorize that subject. And as long as the subject stays within the viewfinder while you're following it around, the camera will continue to focus and keep up with it and not be distracted by, say, somebody, coming in front of the camera briefly or getting in the way, some grass moving in, while you're focusing on a lion. So that is fantastic. It also does it with people using the face detection technology. As long as the person stays in the frame, no matter how many other people join them, it will stay focused on that person. We haven't tested it to its full capacity yet, but it seems incredibly interesting and works so well so far in the stuff we've done with it. It's got a GPS. It's got a flash socket on the side, so if you're going into the studio, exciting times there. A really good replacement for the Alpha 700. Just some other interesting things that we can point out about it. They've changed the handling a little bit. The shutter button and the dial is swapped around from what you're used to on your Alpha 700 or your Alpha 850 and 900. A little bit more Nikon-like in terms of the handling. What's nice about that is you can always use a second finger to adjust. You're not always needing to swap around like that. Highly customizable. The new grip is fantastic to use, very comfortable, feels good in the hand. It's dust and moisture proofed as well. So fantastic piece of glass. It's got the functionality inside here to correct for the lenses, for chromatic aberration and distortion, things like that. And that is something we will be putting to the test at the moment. There's a limited range of lenses that it supports, mostly the SAM lenses, so the 1855, the new 16 to 50, and the 55 to 200. But that will come with more updates as they launch new firmware updates for the camera and support of new lenses as well. So very exciting. We'll be bringing you a full-on review and some exciting test shots and that in another episode of the podcast and on the website as well. Check it out at alphatutorials.co.za. We'll also go hands-on with the Alpha A65, which is this camera's little brother. See you till next time.